we're having a party soon, and this is a great opportunity to refresh the house for spring and sort of look at it through new eyes. Whenever I know I'm having guests over, I suddenly see everything in my house with new eyes. So I I ordered these towels from Amazon, and I didn't look carefully enough, and they ended up being the wrong size. I really love these stripes, but they're like washcloths. I thought they were going to be dish towel size. Whoops. So they'll be going back. And then I was thinking of doing these green ones in my upstairs bathroom. I'm looking to get like a dedicated set of hand towels for each bathroom, but I wasn't super happy with these either, so they're going to go back as well. My front porch. This is a project I want to do this year big time. It's like the first impression you have of our house. I've not been much of a gardener. I'm taking my aunt's advice and starting slow with containers. We do have these really cool concrete containers on our front porch that were in the yard. My husband hauled them up out of our yard with his lawnmower when we first moved here. And I haven't done too much with them over the years, sadly, but I have started to. So this was like my February arrangement. It was like a bunch of evergreens that pretty much stayed green. They're getting a little wilty now. And I am so excited to swap this out for spring. I grabbed some pansies from Home Depot, and I just decided to give it a go. I wasn't really sure what else I was going to put in these containers when I got out here. Of course, I put in new potting soil. These are meant to be hanging baskets of pansies, but I got them because it was sort of like the most pansies for the buck. And so I took them out of their pot, and I was going to plant them just in my container. And I thought I would separate them out, but I just couldn't. They were just so tightly packed in there that I decided in the end to just plant the whole thing into the container. And they looked pretty good, but we definitely needed to add some more stuff. So my little girl and I went out foraging in the yard, and we found violets. We have tons of violets growing in our yard. So I actually just dug up quite a few of them with my daughter's little garden shovel. She knew where they all were. She knows all about where all these tiny little flowers are. I love how children just notice these things that we as adults we're just too busy. We don't notice anymore. So we dug up a lot of violets, and we also got some periwinkle vine, which is growing wild down by our little creek. And I dug up a few daffodils. We also have tons of daffodils everywhere from the former owner, who was quite a gardener, and now they've just kind of gone wild. So I added some daffodils in the middle as my thriller and put violets as a filler, and then a periwinkle vine as a spiller. I wanted to make some spring wreaths, and actually boxwood is great for this. I looked online for some inspiration, and there were some cool things like putting a bouquet in some rain boots or in an umbrella. But in the end, I have so much boxwood growing here that I decided to make some boxwood wreaths, again, just like I did for Christmas, and punctuate them with daffodils this time for a spring look. Now, the daffodils wilt pretty quickly, so I'm going to have to replace them, but I really want to have these wreaths on the door for our St. Patrick's Day party and just have really festive feel. There they are. I grabbed my green Grow Gray ribbons to tie them with too, but I love the yellow and green. I'm starting to feel like it's finally. I also got some solar string lights, and I'm trying to improve the whole front area of the house. So first I tried stringing them on this boxwood tree, which is right near our house and really needs to come down, but I struggled with that for a while, and then my husband came to my rescue and strung them so they go from one tree to another. And I forgot to get a shot of them when it was dark outside and they were lit up, but they look really good. And we're going to hang up another string as well before the party. So I'll try to remember to get a picture then, but it's adding a lot of ambience. I'm really excited about it. I found this pot in our yard and I decided I was going to plant something in here too. So I just dug up a lot of the daffodils that are growing all over wild in our yard and put them in this pot. And when I have more time, I'll probably make it into more of a thriller, filler, and spiller. But for now, I just put the daffodils in just to have something by the door, something festive. Maybe I'll have a chance before the party to get something else in there. So we're ready for spring and for our St. Patrick's Day party with the wreaths and this little seating arrangement. I had this indoor-outdoor rug that I pulled up onto the porch, which I think is really, I just love how it's looking out there. Got the, and then my pots. So it's great. We're ready for the party. And my kids wanted me to add this little shot of our cat sleeping in a corner. So she's loving spring too. And then here I am in my guest room. My parents are coming into town to visit us and stay for the party. So I thought I would share with you some of my plans for the guest room and just me getting it ready to have guests. I am planning to make some Swedish blinds for this room very soon, which are just like a roller shade, like those plastic ones that you can buy very cheaply, but instead you rig up this pulley system and it rolls up and down. So I'm planning to have a double-sided fabric, one side with this stripe and the other with this blue flower, and I'm going to sew them up, and so they roll up and down. I have been thinking and obsessing about Swedish blinds for years. I've never actually made any. I've had this fabric for a couple years too, but this is the year of curtains in my house, I have decided. So this is my first project here. And then I'm just going to show you how I get ready to have guests in our guest room. Welcome to my guest room. I love that I have a guest room. I feel so privileged. When I was a little girl, I really wanted to have a house that rambled on and that had a guest room. And my dreams have come true. So I wanted to show you around and give you my top tips that I have learned over the years of hosting people, mostly my parents, of things that will make them comfortable and hopefully give you some inspiration, and just kind of talk to you about my design plans for this room too. So as you walk in, we did choose the paint colors for this room. So if you don't like them, that's fine. We like bold paint, and it was actually very close to what they would have had in here color-wise. Now this little wallpaper here, this was here when we got here, but we had to repaint the room. And there's a closed up fireplace, as you can see, with this really cool subway tile. I don't know when they put this in. Who knows, but I really, really like it. And then here's the pan out so you can see the whole mantle. We have a mirror up there. And here's my first tip. I have, this is in case of fires. It stops fires fast. You don't have to know how to operate an extinguisher, which takes a little bit more skill. This you just point and shoot. And then I keep some extra toiletries up here just in case somebody forgot. Unused razor, unused toothbrush, some Band-Aids. I need to put a little tube of toothpaste in there. That's missing. I would like to add more to my toiletries for guests, but that's another work for another video. And then we've got this nice little sitting area. These are some chairs that were my husband's grandmother's, and they don't really seem to work right now in the rest of the house, although that could change. So they're sitting in here, and that gives you a nice place to sit. It's really good to have at least one chair in your guest room, just so people can sit and put their shoes on at least. I used to not have any chairs in here, and my poor parents, long suffering, brought me this one from their house just so they could have a place to sit and put their shoes on. So I have hopefully given this more thought since the early days of visiting, but so we have several chairs in here now, and also I think several flat surfaces are great. So these are actually just okay. So yes, you definitely need to have a wastebasket, which is not the most interior designery fun thing to look at, but yeah, so definitely a chair to sit on, a wastebasket, any extra little tables. This is just an extra table. Sometimes we bring it downstairs for parties to serve drinks on or something, but otherwise it lives up here, and it's just an extra surface for guests to put stuff on. And the trash can, the unphotogenic trash can fit underneath of it. This room has windows dating from the 60s. They are a little newer than the rest of the windows in our home, and consequently don't function as well, haha, ironically. So my plan this very soon, I have the fabric, is to make some Swedish blinds for these windows. Normally I have these stopgap light blocking curtains up there on tension rods, but I took them down just to get some light in here. The windows need some repairing, as you can see. But anyway, usually those are up. They're nothing special at all. Besides a place to sit and some flat surfaces, I think that it's really great to have a towel rack for your guests if you don't have an ensuite guest bathroom, or any, which we don't at all. You have to dash into the corridor to use the bathroom, and we don't have a lot of space for towels. So this is something too that my parents they actually brought here because this is what they prefer. But I think it's really nice for everybody, and the guests know they have a place to keep their towels, and that's great. There's a little closet in here. If you do have a closet, now we keep things in this closet, storage things, but like mostly pieces of wood apparently. And this closet is very old, and anyway, but it's nice to try, if you can, make some space and put a few hangers for your guests in case they need to hang something up. And by that same token, let's go over here to this dresser, this IKEA dresser. I just love how it looks, and this bottom drawer is very broken. My husband's going to fix it soon. It keeps breaking, but it's nice to have a couple, if you can spare a couple empty drawers. This is just empty except for the finial that broke off this lamp, but I'm just going to leave it in there. My mother will definitely understand. A couple empty drawers in case they want to, unpack. And then the last thing is some books. I stacked some things in here I thought my parents might find interesting, or other people, just generally interesting. I change them out from time to time. This is another table that right now doesn't have another home in our house, so it's just another flat surface. I feel like you can never have enough flat surfaces for guests in a room. And then a space heater. This room, my parents' house is a little warmer than ours usually because they have central heat, and we have this radiator system, which is central. Anyway, it is central, but so I keep this in there in case they need to adjust their comfort levels. And then a luggage rack, if you can get one, I think is a really nice touch. We got this one as a hand-me-down from my husband's family, but I would go out and buy one for guests. I think it's so nice for them to have something to balance their luggage on. And then, of course, the bed. Now, in this room, it's big enough that it actually has two beds. Antique. It's not super terribly comfortable, but in a pinch, it sleeps two. And then this one is very comfortable. We tried to get the most comfortable mattress we could, and it's very modern. I have it hidden under a bed skirt, and then this headboard that I painted is just wired on to the back, so it looks a little bit old-fashioned, but it's a very modern, very new mattress. And just try to get the most comfortable sheets and bedding that you can, because your guests who are staying over the night, the thing they're going to remember the most is how well they slept and how comfortable that bed was. So I do try this sheet set. My mom keeps telling me how comfortable it is, so I have designated it as the special guest room sheet set because I guess it must be the most comfortable one we've got. Other nice touches for your guests would be an alarm clock. I know we all have cell phones now, but and then also a little flashlight or nightlight, just in case. You never know. Another nice thing would be a charging station for their electronics, which I do not have yet. That's something that I would like to put in, just maybe like a little power strip or something, so they don't have to look around. But if they need, there are some plugs down there. But yeah, I need to buy a power strip for this room because that's just something else that could make people really comfortable. Lamps are really nice. I like to turn these on and have them burning when guests come. So when they walk in the room, the light's on and it looks welcoming. Top tips for making your guests comfortable in no particular order would be, well, actually, yes, in a particular order would be make sure the bed is as comfortable as you can manage. And if you're just putting people up on a sofa, make sure the sofa is as comfortable as you can manage. Sheets, a cozy blanket, just dressing it so that it looks welcoming and inviting. A luggage rack, an alarm clock, a night light or a flashlight, some reading material. It could be just general books, or it could be interesting things about your local area, a place to sit, some flat surfaces to put things on, and some kind of fire extinguisher, some extra toiletries if you can manage it. You can make this very elaborate or very simple. Mine right now is very, very simple, but I would love to make it more elaborate in future. I feel like that would be a great fun project with a lot of DIYs. A towel rack and towels. And last but not least, I guess, is a smoke detector. And then if you can, some decoration. I had nothing in here for the longest time because, it's hard enough to get art for the rest of our house, but I found these plates that we bought when we were newlyweds, and we bought them at this little antique shop, and they had plate hangers already on the back. And so I was like, perfect. Just a drawer or two, if you can, for people to put their clothes, and or a couple of hangers in a closet. If you can't manage a full empty closet, at least just maybe a space for one or two things. Glasses for water or some sparkling water bottles or something, and some snacks maybe, and maybe a vase of flowers would be really awesome too. I hope you're having a lovely time getting your home ready for spring. Let me know what you think of my front porch, the containers, the guest room in the comments. Let me know what you're doing to get your house ready for spring or just to refresh, be it tiny or huge projects. I'd love to hear about it, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye for now.